So, hi, John. Thank you for joining us today. How's your day going so far?
It's going really well. Thank you. Thank you for asking me to be on the show.
And I am the godless engineer, a conscious pioneer, a logic general, a reason brigadier. More bullshit from the pulpit. Meet me in the comment section and you get schooled, bitch. The godless engineer.
So, recently on the Friendly Atheist blog, you posted about a beliefless Christianity. I'm wondering if you can, elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, let me do a backstory behind that. How I got asked to do a guest post for the Friendly Atheist. Hemant Mehta contacted me and asked me to do a guest post because he had heard about me and he thought it was unusual that a Christian might and a Christian minister might have the views that I've had. And it was a few years ago, 2011. I was reading our trade magazine, Presbyterians Today, and the issue came out, What Presbyterians Believe. And it had a list of all of the things and articles about a lot of that. And I read it through and I thought, wow, I don't know if I believe much of any of this. And so I decided to write a post about, well, what really do I believe? What do I think about? And so I wrote down 8 things. I believe in evolutionary theory. I believe that the Bible is a human product, that God is a symbol, that Jesus is a human figure. Most of the stories that we have about him and other sources are legends. I believe that there's not an end for human beings in the sense of an end time that the earth will spin long after the last human has breathed his or her last. In other words, I approach things from a natural perspective, and so when he asked me to write this article, I thought, well, what is my Christianity? It isn't so much about things that I believe, even though I've just used the word belief with you, but it isn't about believing in doctrines. It's more about a practice of living. And so that was kind of the point that I was getting to, is that we use the symbols and the doctrines and the stories of Christianity, not so much as doctrines to believe, but actual things that kind of help us live a life that we want to live or to engage the world, so to speak. So, and so I was thinking more about belief. I was just thinking in preparation for this interview that we use that word and it means different things the way we use it. I can use it different ways in the same sentence. One way is we think of belief as I believe um, in evolution. Well, I don't believe in it as a matter of a faith. That's an affirmation of fact. So sometimes we use that word as an affirmation of fact. Sometimes we use the word as, well, I believe there's beer in the fridge. My friends might have drunk it, but I still believe it might be there. All right, we're kind of hoping that it might be there, even though the evidence might look against us. I believe that 9/11 was an inside job. I believe that Sarah Palin would make a great president. Okay, those kinds of things are belief statements. We're not really sure they're true, but we believe them anyway. So sometimes we think of things that way. Then there's a third way, and this is the way I often approach Christianity and my faith tradition as well as other things. It's like I believe in you. I don't believe you exist or don't exist, but I trust you. I believe you are a good person to commit my friendship to, or something along those natures. I believe that you're a good guy to have an interview with. I mean, so that kind of thing. So we use that word believe in a number of different ways. And so sometimes it's rather confusing. And so oftentimes with Christianity, it's been understood as needing to believe doctrines kind of in that first way, as if these are the real things and you have to believe them to be true, or that second part of it that, well, it doesn't look like it's true, but you believe it anyway. And I think we've made Christianity creed based, that when new evidence comes in, the beliefs are a ceiling and we run into that ceiling. And I think that for many people who are within the Christian tradition, who still like the Christian tradition for a lot of other reasons, that ceiling gets in the way from creative thought. So it was in that spirit that I wrote the column for the Friendly Atheist, that there are those of us who identify as Christian, and I identify as Christian, who wish to see Christianity evolve away from the ceiling of creed to being able to understand it, to use its symbols and whatnot to make life better, to increase human flourishing.